Hello, nice to meet you. I am Kim Ki-won from Richgo. Today, we have returned to the Gyeonggi province metropolitan area. Starting from around September, since many people live in the metropolitan area, we will conduct live sessions more frequently in that region. First, let's go to Gyeonggi province to observe the trends for 2024. Now, if you look here, it comes out clearly like this. So this is the sales, and then this is the rental. As you can see, the south has been sold. So in places like Pyeongtaek, Anseong, and Icheon, the sales prices have increased and rentals are also currently being sold. Next, in the case of Yonggin's Cheoin district, we can see that the hottest areas for rentals are around Seongnam's Jungwon and Sujong districts, which are extremely active. In particular, the southern region of Gyeonggi province is much better than the northern part. Let's take a look at the prices, focusing on the southern Gyeonggi province. Now, this is the increase in sales prices in the southern region of Gyeonggi province. If you look at this, Seongnam's Jungwon district has seen a significant increase. One reason for this spike is the introduction of new apartment complexes in Seongnam's Jungwon district. When these new developments come in at high prices, it can lead to such cases. You need to keep this in mind. So, first of all, since Seongnam's Jungwon district looks very strong, I just clicked on the northern part of Gyeonggi province to take a look. Only the southern part of Gyeonggi province. And here, Seongnam's Jungwon district has seen the most significant increase, so let's take a look without including Jungwon district. This way, it will be easier to compare and analyze the other regions. At that time, this is how it is now. If you look, the area on the far left is Anseong. So areas like Anseong, Icheon, and Pyeongtaek are not doing very well, while Yonggin's Cheoin district has seen a decline, but now the sales prices are rebounding in July and August. Next, in the case of Gwacheon, it had been steadily rising, but it appears to have experienced a significant decline in August. So the data for August has not been fully compiled yet. As you can see here, the actual transaction prices have been aggregated up to August 26, which is how the Richgo statistics have been created. Based on this, it seems that Gwacheon peaked in July and is now declining in August. When does the actual transaction price close in August? Since the actual transaction prices for August will be finalized, by the end of September, we need to observe the situation slightly longer. Seongnam's Sujong district continues to show a strong upward trend. As you can see now, the area surrounding Seoul, including Seongnam, Suwon, Bundang district, Hanam, Gwacheon, Suwon city, Paldal district, Yeongtong district, and Bucheon are all experiencing an increase in prices. The same goes for rental prices. In terms of rental prices, areas like Suwon's Paldal district, Gwacheon, Suwon's Jangan district, Gwangmyeong, and Bucheon are all experiencing increases. Let's take a look at the statistics from Richgo and KB Real Estate. Here, I will include Seongnam and Jungwon district. The KB statistical data is slow. As you can see, rental prices in Gwacheon are continuously falling, while sales prices are rising on their own. In reality, while rental prices continue to fall, sales prices are currently rising, and Suwon's Yeongtong district is the most favorable. This is because rental prices are also rising, and as sales prices continue to increase, it reflects a situation where actual demand is supporting the simultaneous rise in sales prices. Seongnam's Sujong district is showing very positive signs, and Bundang district is also looking good. Since June, Bundang district has been turning around and starting to rise significantly, and you can see that some areas are also moving in that direction. Therefore, it appears that the rise in prices in Seongnam's Jungwon district has just begun since July. Similarly, in areas like Sihung and Suwon, this hot upward trend that started in the Gangnam area of Seoul is gradually spreading to surrounding regions, which are now showing signs of either fluctuating prices or turning towards an upward trend. And when did these situations arise? They have occurred quite frequently. Typically, such events happen a lot during a rising market, and especially towards the end of a rising market. Next, the areas that are still experiencing declines include Anseong, Pyeongtaek, and Yonggin's Cheoin district, as well as Icheon and other regions. If you look at the map of Gyeonggi province, you can see this at a glance. So, among the southern regions of Gyeonggi province, the areas in the far south are currently struggling significantly. But as I mentioned before, I also recently shared a story about how I made 200 million won in Pyeongtaek, and I even filmed a video about it. The best part was in October 2021, when I had the opportunity to sell in the evening. But I hesitated because I had purchased the pre-sale rights back in February 2020. Due to various tax issues and other factors, I wasn't able to sell at the peak. But what is clear now is, will these currently unfavorable areas continue? to be unfavorable? No, they will not. The time will definitely come when these areas will regain strength and rise again. Although it is not right now, if I were to approach it from an investment perspective, I would actually be more interested in areas like Pyeongtaek and Anseong rather than the currently hot regions. From this perspective, Gwacheon is currently the hottest area. Therefore, Gwacheon, Seongnam, and Hanam are seen as the most in-demand locations right now. According to the Korea Real Estate Agency's index statistics, the southern region of Gyeonggi province and Gwangju are experiencing significant declines. Similarly, Suwon's Yeongtong district, Bundang district, and Gwacheon are currently the most active and in demand. Areas like Hanam and Hwaseong are relatively better off. And it's also worth noting that in Gwacheon, rental prices are now on the rise. And as I mentioned, the Korean real estate market tends to move a bit faster than KB. So, while KB indicated that rental prices in Gwacheon were declining, looking at the Korean real estate data shows that rental prices are actually rising. Then, starting from May, both Bundang district and Yeongtong district are showing a reversal from the trends observed in March and April. If you look at Gwangmyeong, it seems to be returning to a significant upward trend since June. How about in Anyang? Anyang has been continuously rising since May 6, 2024. So, first, we took a look at the price data. We cannot overlook the overall data for the southern part of Gyeonggi province. Therefore, let's examine the complete data for Gyeonggi province, focusing on the southern region. It's nice to see you, Yoonho and Tinia's dad. As we delve into expert analysis, a super chart will soon be revealed, which I personally look forward to seeing on a large screen as it will display a single indicator. For now, let's take a look at the current situation in Gyeonggi province, encompassing both the southern and northern regions. As you can see here, the investment score for Gyeonggi province is 62 points. This is about the midpoint since 60 points is considered the middle. Additionally, both sales prices and rental prices are currently on the rise. Since 2017, rental prices have increased by 30%, while sales prices have risen by 71%. As a result, the sales prices have risen significantly compared to the actual rental prices. They have truly become overvalued now. That's why everyone is going crazy. Right now, with prices reaching 5 billion or 10 billion won, in a word. As a result, the actual value of rentals is excessively lower than the rising sales prices. The most highly valued place is Seoul. Next is Sejong, followed by Gyeonggi province. Depending on the time frame you consider, it can vary, but looking at around 5 to 6 years is reasonable. Looking at the data differently, even from 2019, we can see that Incheon is overvalued by 20%, Busan by 20%, Seoul by 16%, and Gyeonggi province by 16%. This indicates that there is still a bubble of about 20% in these areas. Additionally, Ulsan appears to be the most undervalued. As I mentioned before, Ulsan has a very high potential for improvement. All indicators will inevitably be revised over time, so it is only natural that Ulsan will improve. Rose Cream mentioned, please take care of Suwon Fund, but you need to specify exactly where in Suwon. What kind of country is Suwon? And then, what do you think about the Housing Purchase Burden Index in Gyeonggi province? As you can see here, I used to do all the calculations in Excel every day, but now we have automated this process. So if you look here, the current value is 150 and the average is 134, while the past low was 96. So compared to the average, it has risen by a certain percentage, and to return to the average level, it needs to decrease by 10.7% now. Next, it mentions that compared to the lowest point, there is a decline of about 10% to 36% based on the last 10 years, as indicated by the Housing Purchase Burden Index. I have always said that the single most important indicator is the Housing Purchase Burden Index, since it includes people's income, housing prices, and mortgage interest rates. You should use this Housing Purchase Burden Index to make your judgments. This is based on a 10-year period, but if we look at it from around 2004 instead. So the data changes like this, right? It looks similar even when viewed this way, doesn't it? It needs to drop by about 11% to 36%. Historically speaking, it is currently highly overvalued. You must keep this in mind, everyone. Thinking that such a time will never come again is truly foolish. It's foolish. There was a time when the economy of South Korea was growing, the population was increasing, and everything was really good, yet it turned out like this. What do we have now? The population continues to decline. That's why it took quite a long time for the bubble to burst back then, right? It's the same now. I think it's important to keep in mind that prices in Gyeonggi province could drop by about 10 to 35%. But here's the thing. I mean, what did I say? If you want to talk about your own house, then you should do it through an auction. If you go through an auction, at least you can buy it 10 to 15% cheaper, right? Then I can say whatever I want about my own house. This is how I can explain it. Next, regarding the burden of purchasing a home, rental prices are also significantly overvalued, ranging from 6% to 32%. Additionally, the government has started to tighten household loans considerably. This is not the end. Everyone, why do you think the government suddenly delayed the second phase? Because the stage 1 stress DSL stage 1 didn't really have much of an impact at all. But from stage 2 onwards, things change. This is because, starting from the second phase, the virtual interest rates also increase, and credit loans come into play. Therefore, there are effects starting from the second phase. But this time, the virtual interest rate for the metropolitan area was raised significantly from 0.75% to 1.2%. And this virtual interest rate, your maximum, is not 1.5%. It ranges from 1.5% to 3%. So this virtual interest rate can be changed as needed. But for now, what is it? This is a diagram that applies a certain percentage based on the lowest figure of 1.5%. If the situation becomes unusual, how much can the government raise the virtual ban percentage? They say it can go up to 3%. So what will happen to loans? Loans will drastically decrease, right? That could happen. So what does that mean? There could be a tremendous demand cliff. It's impossible to buy a house. They don't provide many loans. Are they really saying to go all in on loans now? I think it's just like a moth to a flame right now. And then, if you look at the income ratio, it clearly shows, right? 9 to 35% indicates that it's too expensive compared to income. It's so convenient since everything is automated. I don't have to do daily calculations anymore. By the way, what is the annual rent compared to the annual rental price in Gyeonggi province? 2.8%, 2.8%. So it means that the rental yield is much worse than bank interest rates. Is the rent in Gyeonggi province cheap? It's expensive. So why is this happening? The sales prices are significantly overvalued compared to the monthly rent. Now, the rental price ratio in Gyeonggi province continues to decrease, right? What does this decrease indicate? I mentioned that rental prices are decreasing. In my book, I also explain that the reason for the decline in the rental price ratio is that the rate of increase in sales prices is greater than the rate of increase in actual rental prices. So what does this mean? It means that people are viewing real estate as a means of investment. So, as I mentioned, it's okay to invest for about 1 or 2 years after this rental price peaks. But I said that after 4 or 5 years, it becomes risky, right? Did I say it's not risky? I said it is risky. Why? Because you never know when something might happen. So, if someone is a true expert, wouldn't they say to buy at times like this? It's going down again now, right? It's not very good. This year, there is quite a lot of supply in Gyeonggi province, right? And starting next year, it will definitely decrease. And let's look at the total supply, not just the confirmed numbers. After that, I will give a forecast lecture on October 12th. So I will be giving a lecture on the market outlook for the remaining years of 2024 and 2025. If you want to hear more details, please sign up for that session. On that day, I will also be giving a lecture with Kim Tae-hoon, the auction genius from Sebyok Sky, about how combining auctions with big data can lead to truly remarkable investment opportunities. And in fact, I am currently a VIP member. In the VIP membership, I delve deeply into where the best investment areas are in South Korea, and there are already individuals who have made 2 profitable investments here. A profitable investment means that you gain both money and an apartment. That's what a profitable investment is. The person who guides you to be able to do this is none other than Kim Ki-won. If I were a pessimist, would I be able to share this information? I wouldn't be able to, right? Why? I'm not a pessimist. Right? I mentioned that I created Richgo to improve my real estate investments. How can someone who has received over 10 billion won in investments for real estate and tech companies be a pessimist? Would a representative of such a company really talk about a decline in real estate? What does that mean? There are reasons for saying things this way for now, but even amidst that, there are certain areas that are truly good for investment. However, I can't discuss those in this public broadcast. I am only speaking to VIPs now, so I will provide you with a good guide to the real estate market. If you follow my advice, well, it will be beneficial. Thank you. I will conclude here.